going to show you how to make this very simple coil pendant. There's no solder joints at all, and there's lots of different options. You don't have to make it exactly the same, but the principle is that the two come apart and interlock back together again, so you can wear them separately like that. If you didn't know already, jewellery means plaything, and I take that literally. I like to make my jewellery do things different. So that's the pendant. Put it back together. And the idea sprung from a ring that I made for the online training school, and this one again comes apart, can be worn that way as well as interlocked together. Check it out. The materials for this project is one strip of silver and one strip of brass. Now you can use 2 strips of silver or silver and gold. I think the colour combination looks really good for this project. The dimensions are 5mm wide, 6 cm long, although one of them slightly longer than the other. There is a reason for that, I'll show you in a minute. And the thickness is 0.9 mm thick, so you can go a little bit thinner or a little bit thicker. If you go much longer, it's going to be harder to interlock the two parts together, so bear that in mind as well. So you must get them prepared by emery cleaning them and polishing them, because it's going to be too hard to polish them later on. So I'll carry on cleaning these up. Before you polish them, you've got to make sure that they're flat both that way and that way as well. Also make sure they're annealed. Now I've lined up the 2 pieces, and with the silver one, which is a fraction shorter, I've got that facing me. I've got a pair of round nose pliers. Now you must have good quality pliers for this, and I'm going to grip the end just slightly in towards the end, otherwise they'll slip off. So with a good grip, now pull the 2 pieces towards yourself. We want to get this turn as tight as possible, but what we won't be able to do is get it curved right on the end, so there is an option to cut that part there. I'll show you that in a minute. And just be careful how tight you squeeze the strips of metal as well, because you're going to be leaving tool marks when you grip them. So now I've turned them around so I can push the metal away from me now. So it's important that you don't twist the pliers, you push the work around. Now at this point you'll see that the wire's just about to, or the strips are just about to make contact here. And if you continue coiling them around without cutting the ends, you'll get a slightly misshaped piece or design, which might not be a bad thing if that's the way you want to go, but I want to keep it as round as possible. So to do that, I just need to take off the straight part of the ends there. So I'm going to cut all the way through, and I'm cutting from the inside out. By doing that, I'm not going to contact the work and damage it. I'm pressing the work really tight into my bench peg so it's not wobbling all over. If your work wobbles around, there's a good chance that you'll break saw blades. So now I've got it curled right at the end there, so I'll be able to keep my design really tight and nice and round. Now what's happening now is the silver is overtaking the brass there. And for this one, I'm going to make this into a pendant, so I want the 2 ends to line up so that I can get the chain through there. So I'll be cutting the silver one shorter. So that's how it's looking. I've got it pretty flat as well, so you have to make sure that you coil it nice and flat to get it like that. And let's just check to see if it comes apart as well. Sometimes it's a little bit fiddly to get the two parts undone. Might mean poking around a little bit with a pair of tweezers. There we go. So we've got the two pieces that could be worn on their own. I'll just pop that back whilst I continue working on it. Now you've got the option to cut the silver here and drill through to put the chain through there and wear it as a pendant that way, or you can bend the silver back onto the coil, just add something different to the design. So again, I'm gripping firmly around about 10 millimeters from the end there, and I use my bench peg to bend it around. Okay, so now I can drill for the chain to go through. I might just tighten that a little bit more. I use my smaller round pliers. Now I'll plan for the holes so that the chain can pass through. I've got the chain I'm going to use here, so just looking at the jump ring that will be going through, I can mark out something that's the right size, or something I can open out to the right size. It's going to be oval, this hole, and put one on the brass end as well. And I'll just mark on the silver the other side, just where the hole will come through, and then I'll drill that. And it's going to be easier to separate the two parts to drill them. I use a small ball burr just to put a little divot in the silver to steady the drill. I'll line it up on the other side to get it going fast, otherwise it will get traction on the work and run off and scar your work. Now for the drilling, I've got a 1.4mm drill. So you can pilot drill it with a smaller drill if you wish. Hold it firmly into your bench peg and make sure that the drill's lubricated. I keep a good contact with the bench peg as I'm drilling, and that stops me drilling right through and hitting my finger on my thumb. Now for opening out the holes, see what you've got in your collection of burrs, and I'll go through various ways of doing it. So first of all, with a round burr that's 2mm, so everyone should have a round burr. You can go all the way through with this first of all. Get it going before you actually contact the work. Keep it lubricated. You can use this product called Pro Cuts, which is really good for burrs. Gives them a little bit longer life as well. Now your work will get hot, so just be wary of that. Now that's the round burr. I could continue opening with that, but I'm going to show you a tapered burr, which is a really good cutting burr. And this one is, I'll just measure the tip of it. It's 1.4, so it should go into the hole okay. And then with this I can start shaping the hole upwards and take it down as well. So it's a very good shaping burr. start trying the chain. Needs quite a bit more taken out. And the other one I've got here, it's a bud burr, so it's like a round burr that comes to a point, so it's good for actually starting the cut, because you can use the point of it to get in there, but it's not a very good cutting burr. It's good for finishing, so this I'll probably use when I finish off the hole that I started with the round burr. And a similar burr to the bud burr is a cone burr, which is shaped like that. Again, because it's got a point, it's a good one to safely start the job. So now I'll go back to the round burr. And just make sure that the jump ring of the chain that you're using will go through each one before you finish off. When it does, then just get your burr going and just run around the very edge of the hole to slightly countersink it, and it will get rid of the flashing that's there. And for doing the inside, I'll just let the ball burr go right in and then move it around that way. Make sure you avoid going too close to the ends there, on the silver and the brass. And once it goes together, we'll see how it lines up. Well, this one here is slightly out, so I'm just going to have to do a little bit more burring on the silver. So that fits through and runs quite nicely now. What I might do is just file one side really flat and get it nice and polished, and I'll leave the other side as is. So there we have it, the coil pendant with lots of possibilities. So you can wear it as is. I was just looking at this thinking I could pull this open a little bit more and have it a little bit more zigzaggy at the top there, which would be really interesting. Or wear them separately. Got something to play with in your spare time then. Hope you enjoyed.